I don't remember. You invented the book with help. This was delusion. When I was 9, there at lunch, fantasies are left behind here and nudged situations toward danger. When I was 9, I discovered how easy it was to make a friend who couldn't refuse me. Real friends turned me away, so I made someone who would never walk out. Her name was Claire. She had pale hair like sun-bleached straw and freckles that dotted her cheeks like constellations. To me, she was perfect. Always there at lunch, always the last one tagging along on the playground. We invented stupid games and whispered rude jokes about teachers. I brought her home. I saved a place for her on the couch. For years she filled the empty rooms where companionship should have been. As I got older, I expected Claire to fade the way make-believe things do. Kids grow up. Fantasies are left behind. But Claire didn't dissolve. She changed with me. The child I imagined became someone who moved through the margins of my life, a presence I could not switch off. She took on solidness where once there was only air. People didn't see her, but she started to act as if they could. Once, when I was 14, I called out to my mother while she cooked. I don't remember the moment clearly, only the shock that followed. My mother spun, furious, accusing me of hitting her. I had not touched her. I had been sitting perfectly still. The bruise on her arm appeared in the space of a heartbeat with no explanation I could give without sounding mad. After that, a small, cold seed of dread took root. Claire began to do things that weren't harmless at all. When classmates teased me, someone would push them into the lockers or trip them in the hallway. Jokes at my expense turned into small, hateful gashes in their lives, and Claire always stood watching with a smile I couldn't read. She hated anyone who took my attention away from her. She resented the idea that my life might contain other people. High school brought real friends, people I trusted, people who laughed with me. Claire tolerated them poorly. She mocked them in silent ways I alone could hear and nudged situations toward danger with an invisible hand. I became careful about where I let myself laugh and who I allowed close to me. It is strange how quickly fear can be normalized. You rearrange your days so the thing you dread is less likely to notice you. College felt like freedom, the kind that allows you to breathe. I told Morgan everything, every odd thing Claire had done, and how she never left. Morgan was the kind of friend you confess to because you can imagine her not laughing you off. She didn't laugh. She frowned, tapped her fingers, and told me I needed help. This was delusion, she said. This wasn't real. Telling her was the most terrifying honest thing I had done. When she left, I felt something loosen, the relief of having told the truth. Claire was nowhere that night. I slept with the light on for the first time in years. My knock-on morning came as a thunderclap. 3 firm raps on the door, then the silhouette of 2 policemen in the doorway. The day collapsed into a blur of questions and blank stares. Morgan had been found, murdered in her apartment. The roommate, sobbing, said she walked in and saw a bloody mess. Witnesses placed me as the last person seen with Morgan. I tried to explain that I left early, that someone else must have come in later, but my words drifted off the floor like paper in wind. The only trace of anyone else they found was suggestions of me. The shoes I'd worn, my prints, my coffee cup. The rest was silence where answers should have been. They charged me. They put me behind bars. I yelled until my voice went raw. Screamed that Claire had not been a private fantasy but someone who had broken free of my imagination. They administered pills and looked at me with that kind of pity that used to be reserved for bad weather. Claire, meanwhile, returned to me in pieces. She visited my cell in the small hours, smiling in a way that made the walls feel closer. "What are you?" I demanded once, when the metal tray and the single light hummed above us. She cocked her head and answered in a voice that sounded like me, but older, more certain. "I'm what you made," she said, and then I became what I wanted to be. I learned quickly that being believed inside the world of others was impossible. Guards shrugged. Doctors wrote notes. Friends with good faces moved away from my window. I tried to sketch her, to give shape to the thing that had shape enough to bruise a person, to frighten a room into stillness. Paper couldn't hold her. Ink ran off the lines as if the light itself refused to cooperate. Inside the cell, the quiet changes you. You start rehearsing the same explanations until the words are hollow, and you use them until even you don't recognize what you're saying. I told them I wasn't criminally inclined. I told them I was the victim of a truth that made no sense. The pills helped with the tremors, but not with the sound of her laugh in the corridor at night, nor with the feeling of a hand resting on the foot of my bed when I woke. Sometimes, in the deepest hours when the prison is breathing slow, I can still see her watching from the shadow by the window. Her face is mine and it isn't. When she speaks now, it's softer, like a promise and a threat folded into the same mouth. "You needed me," she whispers. "You still do. I don't know if there's an end to it." People talk about growing out of imagined things as if maturity is a switch you flip. I didn't find such a switch. Instead, a thing I created grew teeth and patience. It waited for the moment I would be alone, for the way others would be convinced first that I was the danger. If there is an escape, I haven't found it. If there is a way to prove that someone else can be cruel in place of me, I have not found witnesses who will stand against what can't be seen. So I write this because maybe speech fails but the printed page survives longer than forgetfulness. Maybe someone reading this will believe a different truth, that sometimes the monsters we invent to keep us company are the ones who outlast us. And if you ever find a friend who never leaves, watch which corners they smile into when you laugh without them. Watch how their hands rest on the things you care for. Some company is harmless. Some is waiting.